Alrighty, so this is gonna be just like a casual playthrough with dual wielding Uchi katanas. So Alright, so in this video, I'm gonna show you the setup to get from level 9 to around level 50, and you'll be able to get your weapon to +3. Or if you're dual wielding Uchis like I'm going to be, you can get them both to probably +2. It's a lot of running, but it'll eventually be worth it. Sorry. Overall, it probably takes around like 15 to half an hour to get this set up, but once it is, you'll have a pretty easy time with the start of the game. First thing you should do at every start of your playthrough is buy the crafting kit, and you can get a soul that gives you just the right amount from at this pole right here.
You and I can also let you know. Then why not? I am Khan. Goodbye.
Alright, so once you get to this grace, you'll get Melina, so you can level up, and you'll get your horse. And then from there, the run for the setup.
Have you heard of they sir, but I can play turning root to aid you. You need onto the foot. Then it's summon me. I bequeath to you. It will some torrent. Treat him with
Alright, so these pillars with the writing inscribed on them are the maps. Anytime you see them on your map, it'll show up as like a little podium, and so just try to grab those whenever you see them. But sometimes you won't be able to see them until you're in like a certain area next to it. So sometimes you might have to explore into the area and find it. Right here is a stone sword key. These are used to open special locks that will lead to late game loot, or some of them open areas and caves and stuff. Alright, over here at this shack, this NPC named Bernal, throughout the game, depending on like what areas you've completed, he can sell you ashes of war that you can put on your weapons, but most of them are just basic ones that you can find from killing beetles throughout the game. So overall, it's probably better just to kill him so you can get his armor set. So that's what I'm gonna do.
What's wrong with you?
Now.
I suppose I have no choice then. Is this what Grace would have us?
He is pretty tanky, so I don't know, it's kind of nice to just play distance and then wait for his attack cooldowns, and then just like do a running light attack. He does have input reading, so sometimes you'll be mid-heal and and then heal attack. So if he's playing on defensive, just try to be patient. Alright, so to the right up here of this path, there is another NPC named Alexander. So he can help you with Radahn later on in the game, but he's kind of useless in the boss fight. So you can free him, and you can choose to kill him, and he'll drop a shard talisman, which will increase your weapon art damage by 10%. Or, if you just free him and let him live, and do his questline, you can get Alexander's Shard, which gives you 15%. So, since we're dual wielding katanas, I'm not going to kill him, because I don't need the weapon art and stuff. So, we'll just leave him alone for now. And then up here on the left side is a catacombs that has the second Uchi katana if you're choosing to dual wield. Or if you just want to get the weapon and you started with a different class, that's fine too. I'm actually not going to do the boss in this dungeon because it's pretty irrelevant, but he gives you a talisman that it's alright. It's critical hits restore HP, but that's only for like backstabs and parries and stuff like that. So unless you're playing with a shield, playing really defensive, it's pretty useless. But this is the lever required to open up the door. And this door that was once locked is now open, and it's an assassin that, depending on what level you are, he may have like half health, but if you're like around level 30 or 40 when you're coming here, he may be full HP. Alright. Now what I'm gonna go get is, this is optional. It depends on your playstyle and, if you want to do this, but it's pretty easy to get, and it is a pretty significant buff. So I'm gonna show you where to get the Ash of War Golden Vow, which you can put on any weapon, and when you use it, it consumes FP. And you get a 11.5% boost towards defense and offense. Yeah, if you're using a katana, it's best to just use the weapon art and then off the boost. And then you can stab. But yeah, if you don't want to put the Ash of War Golden Vow on your main weapon, you can put it on like a dagger or a shield or something like that. But it has to be something that you're able to put it on. These are pumpkin heads. You can choose to kill him if you want. He does have a chance of dropping smithing stones, but it's like 50% chance. Also, there are merchants located throughout the map that there's like 5 that you can purchase upgrade materials from, and if you're only using one weapon, this isn't necessary, but if you're dual wielding weapons, then you should definitely buy these, because it's better to do this than to go get the bell bearing. Alright, so these are Tibia Mariners. Basically, these are the enemies that raise skeletons back from the dead, and they are counted as like mini boss fights, and later in the game they get pretty strong, but these are the things that you kill for Deathroot if you're using Bestial incantations. So there are these graveyards throughout the game. Some of them are above ground, some are below, but they have a considerable amount of runes. And if you want, you can stockpile those for when you're buying like upgrade materials, or if you need like just a little bit to level up. Alright, so this is the Third Church of America. Here is where you get your a sacred tear and your flask of physic. The physic you can put buffs that you find throughout the game in, and it's basically has the same function as the Estus, but there are buffs that increase your damage, that make you take less damage, stamina recovery, health over time, that type of thing. So normally that's pretty clutch throughout the playthrough. Alright, so now when you run up here, there's going to be an NPC that his quest line is irrelevant, so don't worry about him. What you're actually going to want to do is kill him, because he drops a golden seed, which gives you an extra heal, which are pretty useful early game. Alright, now you want to run into the forest in this direction, and I'll show you where to get another map. And I'll show you where to get the stamina buff that you can put into your physic. Because when you pick up your physic, you already get the health one, which heals half your HP. Sadly, I mean, the physic only has one drink, and after that, it's gone until you rest it out. These beetles they can carry Ashes of War, they can carry Titanite, Smithing Stones. But, yes. So, up there is an NPC named Blade. We're not gonna mess with him right now because his quest line is linked to Ronnie's. But if you sneak past this Rune Bear, down here there's a chest that it has a talisman that increases charge attack damage. So like when you hold a heavy attack for longer rather than just tapping RT or R2. There are lots of talismans like that throughout the game, but for the most part, yeah, this game is mostly like magic based. Magic is like the easy route to go, but if you want to have like a fun casual playthrough, then doing status builds like Dex and Bleed or Dex and Faith or like Strength Faith, that type of thing. Alright, so where I'm taking you now is a fort that has one half of the Dectus medallion required to take the elevator up to the Lift of Dectus. And it also has the Ash of War Bloody Slash, which is a very strong Ash of War that takes like 50 of your health every time you cast it, but it can do up to 600 to 900 damage. So if you're casting it, just make sure that you're in a safe space, or like right after a rolling animation or something like that. Yeah, so what that guy just did is a guard counter. If an enemy just holds up his shield like that, and you see a gray like effect happen, just immediately roll, otherwise you'll get hit with a quick step attack. That right there is Bloody Splash. If you get hit with that, it'll cause bleed buildup, and you'll get hit for about half your HP if you're doing this at the same level I am. Now you want to warp back to, now you have this much of the map unlocked. Now you want to warp back to the Third Church of America. And then to the left of the church, over in this direction, there is a warping portal that will take you straight to Caelid, which is a level 80 area. And it'll take you to the Bestial Sanctum. So in case you wanted to do bestial incantations, you give this NPC Deathroot, and he'll give you the spells in return. Okay, at this point in the game, when you go to a farther area from where you first met Melina, she will come talk to you, and she'll take you to the round table, which is a very important place throughout the game. So I'd say yes, so you don't get her popping up at every bonfire, so you save yourself some time. Then you just want to warp back to the Grace and Caelid that you just got. And this enemy right here, it's a boss fight. They are called Kindreds, and this is just a free roam one, but he does a lot of damage, so I would not recommend trying to fight him unless you're like level 70 to 80, or do at least like 400 damage per hit, because he will one-shot you for probably about half the game, unless you have good armor. So, yeah, I would just avoid fighting any of these like free roam enemies for a while. Now see, this dragon, he will stare at you on the bridge, but he won't actually attack until you're up close. So you can just run through his legs with your horse, and because you'll have a long wind-up animation, so you can just run past him. And then once you get to the other end of the bridge, he'll get the aggro. Alright, now you're going to take a left, and there'll be another graveyard that has souls. There is a couple high-level runes here that give you, like, added up, they give you about, like, 10k. So, I would try not to miss these, if possible. Now, I'll show you a bug really quickly that they just haven't addressed. It's not really a bug, it's more of like abusing in-game mechanics. But if you're doing a mage build and you're following this walkthrough, use the airstream and jump on top of the building here. And then you, if you adjust your camera and then turn your horse sideways, you can slide down the roof and go up this tower without having to solve the mythical beast puzzle. And then you just take the elevator up, and this will give you a memory stone, which in this game basically allows you to equip more spells. now that you have that grace, you want to take the airstream back up. And then hug the left side of the cliff here, because if you go too far to the right, you'll trigger this boss fight in the tree. And he is a level 80 to 90 boss that will, he will one-shot you with just his hits. And he procs Scarlet Rot, which does like 40 to 50 damage a second over time. So if you don't have any anything to cure it, it's a very frustrating boss fight. Then you want to go up this airstream, and then stick to the left side just like before. And this will be the second fort that has the other side of the Dectus Medallion. So later on in the game, when you're past Liurnia, you can actually take the elevator up to the Altus Plateau. Because if you don't do that, and you don't get the medallions, you're forced to go through the cave that's right next to it, which is very frustrating, because there's a boss fight in there that can do a lot of damage to you if you're not comfortable with the in-game mechanics like rolling and enemy like input reading. Now sometimes you get poison going up this ladder, sometimes you don't, but it's fine, because you should have your flasks, because you just got that grace outside. Alright, that right there, oh, okay. That's embarrassing. But, yeah, these rats do a lot of damage in this area. But, I'll go back through the fort and show you what I was about to do. So, these, the Golden Rune 12 gives you around 7 or 8k, I believe. When you pop it, maybe more. So, in our inventory, you can see that I already have a lot of runes. And those, plus that, dragon right there that we're going to kill in a little bit, will give you like 150k, and if you're doing it with a friend, you'll get 250k to around 300, because you get to kill your dragon and your friend's dragon. So killing that dragon over and over is a pretty easy way to get levels early on. So, in case you didn't die like I did, what you're normally supposed to do is jump over here to this side, and watch out because there'll be a massive rat. You fall down, and then you grab this item, which is Radagon's Soreseal, which is a talisman that increases your 4 main stats by 5 each. But the issue with the talisman, I'll explain it in a second. Bye. Okay, I died again. It's fine. So basically, even though it raises 4 of your stats by +5, it decreases your armor protection. So like right now on the right side of the screen, you can see how it says like physical strike / pierce, that type of stuff. How it's all at 0, and then some of them are at like 20, -20. If you put on Radagon's, it will take it to -15. So it actually takes away 15 from every single stat of protection. But you can also see that now I have 17, 18, 17, and 20, and my level hasn't moved at all. So you can put on 4 different level talismans and have really bad protection, but you can be level 9 and have level 50 damage. So now, what we're gonna go do is go back to the, normally you would have the first step grace right here, but I didn't grab it, so I'm gonna go back.
Hey!
Alright, now that we're back at this grace, I didn't mention him earlier, but this NPC, his name is Valre. I would recommend not killing him because he can take you to a very easy rune farm that you can get 10k every like 10 seconds. So I would recommend just keeping him alive for about like until you get to Laernia, because he is necessary to get to the area that we want to go to. Alright, so when you're running along this lake, you want to stick to the left side as far as you can, because if you go too far in the middle, it will actually trigger a dragon spawn, and he will chase you. Even though you're on your horse, he will breathe fire at you across the lake, or he'll just fly to you, and we don't really want that, so... Alright, so in a second we're going to be invaded by an NPC named Neregus, and he does a lot of damage, and he also inflicts bleed, so I would recommend just keeping distance. You can try to fight him on your own if you'd like, but if you run from him for a little bit and stay alive for about 10 to 15 seconds, a second NPC will spawn that will actually fight him, and then you can gank him together with that guy, so you have a much better chance. The daggers he are using are called the Reduvia. If you kill him, you'll actually get one of his daggers, but you can't dual wield them unless you get your friend to drop his, or you make another playthrough or something like that. I'm not quite sure why the NPC isn't spawning yet. Maybe it's because I haven't talked to him. I'm not sure. That was weird. Normally, an NPC named Euro would spawn in, and he would start attack. There he is. Yeah, it took it. It was delayed. I'm not sure why it was. So the only reason we're killing this NPC is because he locks the cave that we're trying to get into, because every time you get invaded, it blocks going into areas. I'm not really sure why. I just imagine that it's so because the game can't like focus like loading areas properly if you're constantly moving areas with an online connection in your world. It probably puts too much strain on loading and resolution stuff. gonna try this again, and hopefully Europe will actually spawn in this time. Yeah. If you're not all that great at dodging, you can put on armor for this fight, but because of his Ash of War, those blood blades that he throws at you, I would recommend trying to keep like a medium to fast roll, otherwise you'll probably get hit by his Ash of War, and it gets your bleed bar to half buildup, and if you do get bled, it'll be like half or 80% of your current HP, and that's not very good considering you have no health. Yeah, so you saw how that blood blade did about half my health, and now that he's here, the aggro will be taken off of you for the most part, and you can actually start attacking now, because he'll be trying to focus the other NPC, so you can get some free hits in. Every invader and NPC that you try to fight in this game does have one flask, so they can get a full heal, but after that they have nothing, so I don't know, patience is pretty much just key. Right, and then we let him. All the blood weapons in this game do scale with arcane, so if you're doing an arcane build, it's good to know that it does take somber stones instead of the normal smithing stones, and those are more rare and cost more to buy. So you really gotta know where to go in order to get all the plus 10 somber stones. Alright, so this is Patches' boss fight. He doesn't spawn in until you open the chest. You don't actually have to take it, it's just some cloth. It's pretty useless, and it sells for like 1 rune. So he's gonna drop down from that cliff. And what you're gonna want to do is get him to half health, and then he'll like surrender. And once he surrenders, he will become a merchant that you can buy from throughout the game. And he sells gold pickled foul feet, which are used to increase the amount of runes we get from killing enemies. And that's really useful for the dragon that we're going to kill in a little bit, because it gives you like an extra 30k runes, which is a lot at level 9. So.
Wait, please! I surrender! White flag and all! Finally come round, have you? I knew you would. You're a man of reason. True and true. Well, what do you know? Now, how did I took you for an innocent, water... A true man. I'm Pat tarnished, like only for now. In exchange for, honestly, frankly. So I'll be ready to...
Alright, so after you say forgive and forget to Patches, these are the warp points that take you back to the entrance. You just want to use this and go back to the start, and then run back to his boss room, and then he'll be a merchant just sitting there.
I saw
Alrighty.
it.
One thing to note, if you're after you buy your gold pickled Falfeet, there is a Margit Shackle, which if you're having issues killing Margit or you just don't feel like fighting him because the boss fight annoys you too much, if you want to spare 5k runes, you can buy this, which basically when you use it, it locks him to the ground for about 3 to 5 seconds. And if you have a spirit summon or an NPC or your friend in your world, you can use this to lock him down to the earth, and then they can hit him for free damage while that's happening. But when he enters in second phase, this will no longer work. So it basically just makes his first phase just free damage, and then the second half you actually have to like learn the inputs. This also does work later in the game for the Morgott boss fight, because technically it is the exact same person, just different names. So if you have trouble with Morgott, you can also find patches and buy this again from him.
Cheers for that.
Alright, now what you want to do is go back to the Fort Feroth, Grace. And what you're going to want to do is rest at the Grace and go into your Physic and then equip your Stamina tier and your... you don't need to use the Spiked Crack tier. You can if you want to. I'm not going to because it's not necessary. But the Stamina one gives you a lot more stamina bar. It, like, literally just extends it, and it makes it much easier time when you're doing this because you can get more hits out. So basically what you want to do is, this dragon is just a mobile. He won't move, but he will apply a debuff on you. So you basically just want to smack him. Oh, it's probably going to take about 5 minutes. But you literally, you can do this with a friend. So you can both proc bleed at the same time. Or around the same time, so it doubles the damage and makes it faster. But see how I just bled him for 13k damage? Literally all you want to do is just hit him until you bleed. And then once he's low health, you pop your gold pickled Falfoot. And then you'll get 100k runes from doing this. From basically just hitting somebody who's just sitting here. Just to note, you can only do this with weapons that have causes blood loss buildup in the passive effects. You can't do this with just anything like a hammer or whatever. Now see, because patches actually had 3, if you are doing this with a friend, you have one pickled Falfoot for your world, and then when you summon into their world, you'll also get the rune boost if you use it in theirs. So you basically get 100k for yours and then 100k for your friends. And that is about, at this point in the game, that's like 30 or 40 levels. And that's it's pretty much an easy setup, because at that point, all of the boss souls you get going forward, you can put towards your katanas, rather than scrounging for runes and struggling to get runes for weapon upgrades. Alright, so when they get low like this is the point where you want to pop your outfit, because it gives you a either a 15% or 20% ruin boost from like around the world enemies. Sadly, the rune boosts in this game don't work on actual like big game boss fights, because the main storyline boss fights have a set number of souls, and you can't actually increase those. But when you go into new game, those bosses will have a higher soul count because it'll take more to level up by the time you're in new game. So. Alright, so now the dragon's dead, and you should get about 60k for killing him, and then his body falling will kill all of the dragons that are in front, and you'll get around 100k. It is a little bit delayed, so it might take a second to get your last like 6k souls, but it'll come eventually as long as you don't warp away. Yeah, so see, I'm actually waiting on a dragon to die, so I'm missing about 3k. Oh well, I'm not gonna worry about it. So yeah, at this point, what you're gonna want to do is warp back to the round table, and then run over to the blacksmith, because you can actually sell stuff to him. It could be anything in the game, but for me right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sell anything I'm not using, and I'm gonna sell him all my runes, because selling them is actually faster than just popping them. So coming here whenever you have a lot is worth your while. Now see, you can choose to keep Ratigan's Source Seal if you don't care about the protection nerf, and you can have the stats, but I mean, it's completely up to you, but for my personal preference, I always sell it because it's an extra 3k, so I don't really worry about it. And so far from this very long and kind of tedious run, I am level 9 with 122k souls, or runes, sorry. And this amount, we're not actually done just yet. We still have to go collect upgrade materials, but that's still a lot of runes. That's probably more than you'll see for the first half of the game in one time. Alright, so now you want to go back to the first step, Grace. Or back to the one next to the lake. And then you want to go the other direction this time. You want to go right instead of left. Yeah, but like if you think that the amount of runes I have right now is a lot, this is pretty much nothing, because by the time you're around like level 40 to 50, it'll take about like 20k souls or 20k runes to level up per level. So this would only be like 4 or 5 levels. Alright, so this merchant, he sells some okay armor. If you still can't wield the Beast Champion armor from earlier, I would recommend buying this set because it's fairly good. He also sells this talisman, but it only increases your health by like 50, which is like 2 levels, so it's not really worth it. But buy all of his weapon upgrades, and if you do need a stone sword key later on in the game, you can buy this, but I would recommend not buying this right now. Alright, so now what you want to do is stay on this right side, and eventually you will see a golden seed tree. So that's another heal. And right here is the map for the Weeping Peninsula, in case you get lost following my video. So now here you want to go left, because this actually takes you up to a village where another sacred tier is. This also has a madness incantation up here, but if you don't have faith, you're not going to be able to use it. Alright. Now what you want to do is go towards this cliff, and there should be a little bit of a drop down. You want to do a running jump on your horse, and jump last second, and then double jump to try to land in the airstream so you don't take fall damage, so you can jump across to the other side without having to deal with the enemy that's guarding the bridge right there. He's sleeping. Alright, so that's another sacred tier. Now if you keep running straight, there'll be another church over there on the hill, you can see it. But yeah, once we grab that, then I'm going to buy the last upgrade materials from that one merchant, and and then I will take you down into a cave that has 9 upgrade stones. These are known as Everjails. Half the time these will be locked, but they basically have high-level bosses that give you certain legendary items and stuff like that if you beat them. Not all of them are good, but some of them are spells and some of them are weapons. So it's really up to you if you want to fight those. Alright, now that you have that, you're going to want to warp to the first... It's the first step, Grace. And get on your horse, and then back behind this building there's a cliff that if you jump off of it, there is an airstream. Make sure you double jump to try to hit it, but yeah. There's also another gold pickle foulfoot here in case you don't want to do the patches run and you're not doing one with a friend, but now I have 3 for just throughout the game if I ever want to use those. And then underneath this little like bowl-shaped thing, there is another merchant that has some upgrade materials that you should buy.
All done? Well,
And now you want to warp back up to the first step. And now you want to stick on the left side of the lake again. But instead of going towards the cave with the where the invader was and stuff, if you keep sticking to the left, you will find a mine that has upgrade materials that should take you only about like 2 minutes to run through. Now see, these guys, if you're gonna choose to attack them, I would only hit them with heavy attacks because your weapon will bounce off of them, so you kind of have to play distance. But choosing to kill them might actually be a smarter thing to do. It'll be pretty frustrating, but they have a chance of dropping upgrade material stones, so I'd say it's worth trying to kill them. But if they're giving you too much trouble, it's fine. The weapon art unsheath is also very strong on these guys, so if you do have a katana, you can just use it twice to kill them. Why are these rats so annoying? So those are glintstone scraps. They're not really useful, but they do chip damage. They just use your FP to summon these what would normally be magical spells, condensed. Alright, now what you want to do is when you're going up the elevator, you have to roll off halfway. It was the other one. Yeah, the ones with the lanterns do breathe fire, and depending on if it's like a magical cave that you're in, or if it's just a stone one, they can breathe magical fire, which does more damage. Alright. Now, when you go down this elevator, it will take you to the boss of the mine. It's a completely optional boss. You don't have to kill him if you don't want to. You get like 3k and the War Medallion, which just increases breath attacks, like Ashes of War and screaming attacks. I'm not actually going to... Actually, I guess I'll attempt him. Killing him is probably faster than running back out of the mine. Okay, so he does have a thicker skin, just like enemies throughout the areas. You can't spam with your katana unless he's stance broken. So you just have to heavy attack. Oh shit. So yeah, if you aren't comfortable with doing this mine with all of your souls, you can, or no, sorry, not souls, runes. You can choose to use them at the round table before you come here, but I just prefer doing this before using them. That way I can use my souls to upgrade my weapons instead of worrying about not having enough runes. So, I don't actually want to fight this guy, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, grab my runes, and then if you're in a boss fight and you save and quit the game, it'll actually force you back outside the fog wall. And then you can go back to the grace or whatever you were doing. So if you think you're going to die and you don't want to lose your stuff, you can just kind of chicken out. But see, now that I did this cave, I have 21 stones, and you only need 3 more in order to get Hana's the +3. But if you're doing this, if you're only using one weapon when you're doing this, you don't even have to do this cave at all. Just buying from those merchants will get you enough upgrade stones. But if you're choosing to dual wield, then this is required.